Hi everyone, welcome back to another Bible story. I'm excited that you're here today. I am also excited that we might get to see each other pretty soon. Rachel and Melissa are working on something and maybe we'll get to see each other pretty soon. I'm pretty excited about that. But before that, I want to do one last video lesson for everybody, and then it'll be time for somebody else to do some video lessons. All right, so today we're going to learn about a couple of new people in the Bible that we haven't talked about yet. Their names are Ruth and Naomi, two ladies in the Bible that were very, very important. But before we start, let's get ready to listen. All right, so let's shake out our wiggles real quick. Shake out your wiggles. Good job. Now let's clap. All right, let's all pat our legs. And wiggle your ears. And wiggle your nose. Good job. Now let's clap one time. Put your hands in your lap. Okay, let's get our listening ears really ready because I have a fun story and I'm gonna have some questions for you at the end, okay? So this story is in the Old Testament, okay, of our Bible. So remember, if we have our Bible, the front part of our Bible is the Old Testament, stories about God. The second part of our Bible is the New Testament, and that story is about Jesus. So this is in the very beginning of the Bible in a book called Ruth. Ruth's story is in the beginning of the Bible, and let's learn about it now. Okay, so this story is about two ladies, Ruth and Naomi. Can you say their names with me? Ruth and Naomi. Ruth and Naomi were mother and daughter-in-law. So Naomi was the mother-in-law. She married her husband, and they had a son, and Ruth married that son. So Ruth married the son. Naomi is the mother-in-law. So Naomi and Ruth, mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, okay? So something pretty sad happened to Ruth and Naomi's husbands. Somehow they died. And that was really sad for Ruth and Naomi. So way back when, in the Bible times, when a husband died, the wife usually went back and lived with her dad or her brothers, somebody else to help take care of her. Well, Ruth and Naomi didn't have anybody to go to. So Naomi said she was going to go back to where she came from, a town called Bethlehem. Have you heard of that town before? So Naomi was going to go back to Bethlehem. Ruth could have gone back and lived with her family, but she decided that since there was nobody to help take care of Naomi, that she was going to help take care of Naomi. So she moved to Bethlehem with Naomi. That was really nice of Ruth. She could have gone back and lived with her dad, but instead she decided to go live with Naomi back in Bethlehem. Well, since they were two ladies and they didn't have jobs and they didn't have a way of getting food and getting money, they didn't have a lot. And so Ruth, every day, she would go out into a field and pick up leftover grain that others hadn't picked up. And she would use that to feed her and Naomi. Well, there was a guy that owned that field, and his name was Boaz. Can y'all say that with me? Boaz. He owned that field, and he was somehow related to Naomi. And he figured out that Ruth was there picking up leftover grain. And then he found out that she was related to Naomi. And he thought that was really nice, that she spent her time helping take care of Naomi. So he went and told her that she could have how much ever grain she wanted out of his field because she was being so nice to Naomi. Well, that was really nice of him, and he was a really nice guy. So Naomi thought she had a little bit of a plan that could help get Ruth taken care of. Well, Boaz wasn't married, and so Naomi thought maybe he would help take care of Ruth. So one day Boaz was going to have a big party for all of his workers in his field. Naomi told Ruth, go ahead and get bathed and put your nicest clothes on and go to that party. And at the end of the party, Boaz was going to lay down and rest for the night. Ruth was supposed to lay down at his feet and rest there. When he woke up in the morning, Ruth asked Boaz if he would take care of her. And you know what? He really wanted to. He wanted to take care of her. And so he went into town and asked the elders if he could marry her. And the elders thought about it and they said, Yes, you can marry her, but if you're going to marry her, you need to take care of Naomi too. And guess what? Boaz was very happy to take care of Naomi too. So Boaz and Ruth got married, and they had a son. And Naomi helped take care of that son. And that son, when he grew up, he ended up being the grandfather of King David, which is pretty neat. So God provided and took care of Ruth, and Ruth was very, very loyal to her family. All right, I've got some questions about the story. I had to write them down because today's story was so long that I had to write down my questions. Okay, so my first question is, how are Ruth and Naomi related? Do you remember? It's kind of weird. Okay, so Ruth was the daughter-in-law, Naomi was the mother-in-law, remember? Good. Okay, so what was the sad thing that happened to both of them? Do you remember? Yeah, Ruth and Naomi, both of their husbands died. That was really sad, wasn't it? Yeah. So they went and worked, so Ruth went and worked in a field and she got all the leftover grain. Do you remember the name of the man who owned that field? His name was Boaz. Good job. Good job for remembering that. Okay, so Boaz owned the field, and Boaz agreed to help take care of Ruth. So he went and asked the elders if he can marry her. What did the elders tell him he had to do if he was going to marry Ruth? Do you remember? He was going to have to take care of Naomi too. Good job. Good. Okay, so remember Boaz and Ruth had a son. Do you remember who he grew up to be? He grew up to be the grandfather of King David. God works in great ways, and if we are loyal and we trust him and obey him, he's going to bless us. All right, friends, that is all that I have for today. This is my last lesson with you, so I will see y'all later.